Hi, I'm Ken Jr. and welcome to Train World TV. Here you'll find the latest and greatest in model trains. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new to our channel, we're glad you're here, and I invite you to click the subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you'll never miss a video. Now, we'd also love to send you exclusive deals and special announcements that you won't find anywhere else. So be sure to sign up for our emails, TW Text, and stay connected with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Don't forget, you can shop online at trainworld.com for all your model train needs. Now, without further ado, enjoy today's video.
All right, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to our latest Thomas Monday live stream. Not Thomas Tuesday, Thomas Monday on this fantastic, beautiful St. Patrick's Day. We hope that everyone is doing well all across the globe. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're already getting lots of St. Patrick's Day comments in the chat. I know for a fact right now I've got a friend in Germany tuning in. There's also a friend in Korea who's tuning in. Both of whom I actually know through music endeavors, but it's just fantastic to be here yet again. Apologies for the delay. We know that we usually tune in to the first Tuesday or Monday of every month, but because this is such an exclusive stream, which you will be finding out why in just a few moments, we wanted to make this in the middle of the month. So many things going on, so many guests, as you can see. So thank you very much for tuning in. First and foremost, Ken, thank you for giving me the opportunity always for putting these together. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Great to be here, Christian, and thank you as always for putting this together.
Awesome. And our guest this evening, first and foremost, one of my closest friends in the Thomas fandom. We visited Bachmann Industries last summer together and had the opportunity to visit Doug and Matt and many others. John, how are you doing this evening?
I'm very good, Christian. Very happy to be here. That was a lot of fun doing that. I never thought when I was like a little lad that I would be walking through Bachmann Industries.
Absolutely, yes. And our other guest, Charlie Guanasso, many of you may know him as Chaz on the Bachmann Forum. He has been in the fandom for so many decades. He's been in the Bachmann Forum since, I think, 2005, when the HO Gordon and Henry were first announced, which is incredible. He's been a longtime supporter of Bachmann, helping out in any way possible. Chaz, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. I just got out of work early, and, I can't really complain. Specify with staff on why, but maybe watching. I don't know, but
Never know.
And this evening we have not just one, but we have two men of the hour from Bachmann Trains. Our favorite man, Doug Blaine, and a very special guest who's also our favorite man. We're gonna have two favorite men from Bachmann Trains. Matt Stern, how are you both doing this evening?
Good, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Christian. Always great to be with you and Ken and our friends Charlie and John. Anyway, great to be here this evening.
Absolutely, yeah. It's good to be on the stream for the first time after many years of checking in and seeing how Doug's doing from my couch.
Absolutely. And for those of you who don't know, this is an extremely special stream because this is actually Doug's grand opus, aka grand finale of streams. He has a very, very special stream lined up or presentation lined up over at Bachmann Industries, several products to showcase this evening. And Matt Stern is going to be our guest for future streams. So we just in the chat need to thank Doug so much for all the service he's given us at Train World and just in general for the Thomas line. a huge round of applause all together, just first and foremost. And we're going to do this again, but just as a heads up to what we have this evening, just so that none of you tune out, because this is a very, very important stream that you tune into.
Well, Doug, if you could also take a moment and kind of explain what's going on for everyone who doesn't know what's going on.
Sure. So it's both with regret and excitement that I need to let everyone know I will be retiring next month. Next month. And so it's coming up. I am going to miss terribly all the friends that I've made in the fandom and everything I do here at Bachmann. But sometimes it's just that time, and I am looking forward to a new stage of life. But being able to be here with the fandom, Ken and Christian, Charlie, John, and Matt, it's just it's a true honor and a privilege, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. And so, thank you for everyone's support and friendship over the years.
Yeah, Doug, we truly want to thank you for everything that you and Bachmann have done throughout the years. You just being so supportive of the show to the fandom, Thomas line, and really just expanding everything has just been unbelievable. And we know you'll enjoy retirement, but you will be desperately and sorely missed. It's bittersweet as we want you to enjoy retirement. We're going to miss having you around for sure.
Thank you very much, Ken, for those kind words, and I'm going to miss it too. I really will.
And you're always welcome back on the live stream. Just because you're retired doesn't mean you can work for free.
I suggested to Christian maybe we make it a once a year thing for the announcements or whatever. You come back, or a Christmas thing.
Well, if Matt'll have me, sure.
We'll see.
Tough crowd. So I might as well introduce right now. Matt is our marketing manager, and he will be taking over my responsibilities for licensing with Thomas and all licensing products. And he's also going to be working with Tyler Haney, our product development manager, and they are going to make an awesome team to take over and bring you more exciting new products. And you can look forward to what they will be bringing in the coming years. More about Matt later. But you are in very good hands with Matt.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Matt, I'm not sure if you want to say a few words.
Yeah. I mean, it's been, working alongside Doug for, been about 4 years now. It's been, I told Doug this before, but it's been some of the best years of my career. So, the Doug you see on the stream is the Doug you get in the office, and just a great guy to work with. So we will we'll definitely miss him at the office, but everything that he's done for the Thomas fandom and for model railroading in general in the last how many years has it been?
At Bachmann or for Thomas?
Let's do both.
Bachmann is, I started working with Bachmann probably, I was an outside vendor. I was a public relations firm with Bachmann starting in, I believe it was 1988. So it's been a few long years. And then I joined full-time in 1999.
Wow.
So it's been an excellent long run.
That's unbelievable. And
that was the year I was born, 99.
That's amazing. That really is.
That was God's plan.
I love it.
And Doug you said to me, Doug, you've been involved with Thomas since basically the beginning.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true.
You were responsible for it.
I signed the original contract with Goulet.
Yeah. Wow.
And the early years were I was working with our product development manager, vice president of product development, Lee Riley, who I definitely want to give a shout out to. He was a great mentor to me and a great friend. His office was right next door to me. And after we started working on the first Thomas projects, reviewing the first products for Thomas and Percy and James. I'm gonna show right now. But anyway, he gave me this set of calipers, and he said, "You're gonna need these." And I just appreciated when he said that to me, because I knew he was putting faith in me, and I've used them many, many times since then. So anyway, thanks to Lee for his guidance and all the insight he gave me into product development.
That's great.
Amazing. All right. Well, we have a massive Bachmann presentation happening later in the hour, but Chaz, I know you had requested, based on the coin flip that was in my head, which I didn't mention till now. But anyways, I know you will be presenting first. So without further ado, let's hand it over to Charlie Guarnasso, aka Chaz. And, sorry. There we go.
Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. So I have a couple of customs I do want to share, and I do want to show off both my layouts as well. So the first one I want to share, it's a very special one. This is Duke. Some of you guys may recognize this one. I've posted it a few times already. You guys can see it a little clearly. So this was made by a good friend who was a guest previously, Michael Melton. And he had started on this project, but he was moving on from 009 modeling at the time, and he hadn't finished this project. So with the help from a friend, I was able to get the handrails drilled on, and I was able to add the pinstripes and the nameplate onto Duke. And wheels are, kind of a little dirty at the moment. But otherwise, I do plan on repainting the wheels again at some point with this model, but it's very special, and Duke is just an amazing character like that. So I know he holds a lot of value to the fandom, and I think this is a character who is pretty much an essential for anyone who does narrow gauge modeling. So that's Duke. And then the next one I want to show off real quick is Sir Handel. So this one was not made by me. This was actually made by former member Bill, otherwise known as Grandpuff. Sadly, he passed away due to heart failure. But his work, I just need to give this a shout out especially, has just been phenomenal. He has made like almost every narrow gauge engine on the show, and anytime I needed any sort of help or feedback on like a project I was doing, or even when I was making my 009 layout, which I'll show off here later, he just always knew what to do, and he gave great feedback and advice. And he even allowed me and a good friend to come down over to Train Mountain Railroad, which is all the way down in Southern Oregon. We got to have a nice little private VIP tour, and that was a great experience. And it was during COVID, so that just made it even better, being cooped up and home for so long and getting out to do something like that was just an amazing experience. So it just kind of felt wrong for me to not share this model. And even though the Bachmann model is coming out, I definitely intend on keeping this one. Again, just for the memory of Bill, and I'll probably remove the nameplates to replace it with Falcon, which was what Sir Handel was named previously before officially moving to the Skarloey Railway. And by the way, I can't see any comments or questions. So Christian or Ken, if there's anything that anyone asks, please call out. Otherwise, I'll just keep going.
Absolutely. Just a bunch of compliments so far.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So here's the next one. This is another one of my earlier projects. So here is Duncan.
Wow.
So Duncan was a model that I made around like 2017 or so. And while I definitely love how this model came out at the time, it's one I definitely do want to revisit. The body shell is, a little bit outdated compared to offerings that have been out since then. But, it just kind of holds value just because it was one of the ones that I had the most involvement with. And compared to other projects that I've been involved with in the past, this one actually runs really well. It was made with a mini trains Staines chassis with the wheels painted. And the Ertl face has been applied and added a little cab on as well. And actually, Bill helped with the drilling over here with Duncan with the handrail as well. Again, just showing how great of a guy he was with the different projects. So,
Chaz, forgive me for interrupting. He was on the forum, wasn't he?
yes, he was.
Oh my! I had no idea. When did that happen?
He passed in 2021. I remember it was like right around when schools started opening up again.
That's I was wondering where he had been. I did not know that. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. What happened was I was actually the first person who found out his. I meant to send him a text message, but I got a response inform me what had happened, and he asked me to make a post on the forum on his behalf. And the same thing that I can say to everyone else too. Always, keep just keep this hobby going. Whether that's getting involved yourself or getting another generation in. And I'll probably even touch on that subject a little later too with a former student. But just seeing like the turnout already for this stream and everyone here, it's just so awesome seeing like how much such a niche hobby like Thomas model railroading has become. And like, as Christian pointed out earlier, 2 decades, like it's just amazing how much has changed. Wasn't sure if you guys were going to add on to that.
No, please keep doing it.
Okay. Well, this next one, I think Christian is especially excited to see. So here is Stepney. This one was made entirely by Johnny, aka Bluebells 5529. I approached him since he was doing mission projects at the time, and I didn't want to join the bandwagon on waiting for Bachmann to make Stepney. Hi, Doug. So I decided to get in contact with John and ask if he'd be willing to commission this, and it took quite a few months to get the parts and the Hornby Terrier chassis, but I think this one turned out really nice, and I'll be running Stepney here in a few moments. But
fantastic.
He
Can you
looks
go a little closer to the camera?
fantastic. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job with this
Very
thing.
cool.
Now, is the Terrier that Hornby actually used for Stepney? I always felt that was a little small, or is that just in my head? Or is that the same one?
Yeah, this is the same one.
It's the same one. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that looks like the perfect size.
Oh, thank you. And then last but not least, it's technically not a Thomas product, but it's tied in with a Thomas memory. And I had this specifically with Matt in mind. So this is a custom painted Jeep 38-2 painted in the Mount Hood Railroad livery with the different shades of red, teal, and the yellow stripe. So this was definitely an ambitious project, and a friend helped out with this one as well, especially getting the decals placed on. And somebody might be wondering, why am I sharing this on a Thomas stream? Well, when I was a kid, I went to a day out with Thomas out in the Mount Hood Railroad, and the Thomas at the show was a dummy unit. So Thomas was basically being pulled and pushed around by this locomotive. And when I was a kid, I just immediately fell in love with it, like with the beautiful paint scheme applied. And it was just one of many things that really helped me kind of step out of the interest into Thomas, but also into, I don't want to say real trains, but non-Thomas
regular trains.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and yeah, that's pretty much the 5 customs. I'll just kind of show them off all together if you guys can see them, but figured I would just bring out a few again, just in honor of the main attraction itself coming up.
Charlie, I love the fact that your day out with Thomas attendance bridged you into further interest in one-to-one railroading. I think it's a great story.
Thank you. Yeah, it definitely holds a lot of sentimental value on that reason alone. But now I'll go ahead and show you guys the layout. I'll actually put Stepney here. Obvious reference is obvious. But yeah, this is my layout. So it is, it's your average Pacific Northwest railroad with, I'm going to say the theme is more 80s. But a lot of these buildings have custom LED lights installed. Some of them are on, others are off right now. But just giving you guys a quick little glance of everything. I have a little food truck over here, an Indian food truck. I like adding little personal touches to my layout based on my own personal experience. Like there was an Indian truck over at Portland State University where I went to college. So I thought I'd throw in that reference as well. And, you know, this I like to call a little serendipity. I'm not sure if you guys can see this. There's like a broken luggage cart and a bunch of people getting involved.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a funny story. I tried so hard to get this, like, you know, thing back together. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't we just create a little scene of, you know, life happening and make it look like they're just picking everything up and getting everything ready for the next train. So, you know, you got to have a little bit of a sense of humor with this hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then one last little touch I want to share. So I added little figures into this car, wrong hair color, but I like to, you know, think that I would add myself onto the layout. And I added my dog, who I put down a few years ago, Thomas, who was a beagle. So I thought it was appropriate to put him right by the little burger restaurant, since I remember taking him out to Burgerville, which is a local fast food chain over here. So again, it's little touches that I like to add, you know, for my own experiences onto the layout, just to make it a little more unique in that sense.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It made the move very well, Chaz, it looks like.
Thank you. Yeah, it did.
'Cause that would be something I think people would be interested in hearing about.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great story for everyone. So about a year ago, the apartment I lived in was without water for 11 days. And, you know, after, you know, dealing with the whole ordeal with, because the whole community was affected, and the very first building that got water back just happened to be the same building as one of the employees lived in. So there was definitely some sketchy things going on. So after that whole ordeal, I decided to move apartments. And, you know, as you can see, this layout is not exactly small, and getting it to fit through, you know, this door with all these like corners and everything, and it's upstairs, you know, that was just a whole adventure in itself. But you know what? We got it to work out and nothing broke. So I say that's a win.
Amazing. And what are the dimensions of this layout, Chaz?
So this is a 9x6 layout.
Wow.
It's fairly big. It's 1 foot less than
Yeah.
mine was back home. Mine was 9x7.
Yeah.
Was
All
that
right.
another
Crazy.
layout underneath?
I like the layout, and the LED
Yes.
effects are really, really nice too, Charlie.
Thank you. Yeah, a friend of mine helped add the custom LED strips and lights into them, and it just makes a world of difference. I love running the layout late at night, especially when, like, you know, it's dark out and, you know, I can turn off all the lights, and the engine's like with the lights running. It's a nice little nighttime scene. So
Nice.
it's always fun doing that with that feature. But anyway,
I think I heard Matt ask about something underneath, but I think you're saving that.
oh, what were you going to ask, Matt?
Oh, I don't want to spoil it. It was something that was supposed to be for later.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, I'll go ahead and get engines running for a little bit.
Maybe I'm not used to
Is that
it.
your own track plan, Charlie?
I'm sorry?
Is that your own track plan?
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear that.
Is that your own track plan?
Yes, it is. I mean, it started off one I found from a guide, but I was able to make a couple of modifications, like the sheds over there. Those were not part of the initial plan. And, you know, I added a couple of the sidings to give it a little bit more of an industrial feel. But yeah, there's definitely...
I admire how many buildings you put. I'm always I never can contain myself. I always just end up covering the whole thing with track.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, you got to add a little bit of life, and make it look like there's like a community going on. So, fun fact: this engine right here is made by Bachmann. It's their 10-wheeler.
Wow.
Whenever I run this, people always say it's ON30, and I can promise you it's not. You guys didn't see that. But yeah, that is the standard gauge layout. I'm just going to that coach. Again, you didn't see anything. And here is my 009 layout. You guys see it might be a little bit dark.
Yeah.
We can see it pretty good.
Okay, good. So fun story about this layout. So this was something I made during COVID. When you're cooped up in home, you got to do something. And I was like, you know what? This is as good of a time as any other to finally make a 009 layout. So it's not really based off of anything in particular, but I figured, it would work as a nice generic British Skarloey Railway themed setup. No lights have been installed in this one. In fact, it's literally on my floor. So like, literally just a baseboard on the floor.
It looks great though.
Thank you. Probably the most ambitious part of this was adding the lake. And a good friend of mine named Red Tender 5, I don't know if that name rings a bell. His name is Kelson. He was a big help in putting this lake together, especially with adding the rock and getting the wave formats and everything. He was a real great help with that as well. You might also recognize some of the resin buildings like the trackside station. And then we have the storage shed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And I see the Skarloey engine sheds over there. Just your take on them.
Oh, well, thank you. Those were actually not mine originally. They were Michael Melton's. He sold them to me. But they certainly fit the Skarloey Railway theme for sure.
Yeah, they look great.
Thank you. All right. Now I'll get Peter Sam running.
Wow.
I think Peter Sam has always been my favorite narrow gauge engine personally. Seriously, what is it? Gosh.
They know they're on camera. They have stage fright.
Clearly.
I have a question for you guys. Now that when we were younger, sounds and all that weren't big in the engines. I got a Speed and Sound Thomas recently, and I do like it very much. But I have to say, I don't know if it's because I'm used to it. I just like the sound of with no sound, just the regular electric engine running on the thing. How do you guys feel about that?
There's definitely something to be said for hearing the rails and hearing the gears moving and all that.
Right.
Yeah. Sound is definitely something I do want to invest in at some point, and DCC as well. But part of the fun really is just, sitting back and watching the trains.
Yeah.
So, I'm a happy camper either way.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not exactly what I'm supposed to be looking at, but those are some schmancy legs you got on that layout above.
Oh, thank you.
I was thinking the same thing.
Thank you.
Was it a dining room table?
Yeah, no. When my dad and I were like investing on this table, it's like, you know what? Let's have this look a little nicer instead of just like a bunch of bare, like wooden legs.
That's great.
It looks good.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the intent. So I'll pass that along to my dad later. That'll be a fun conversation.
So you built the whole table, frame and everything, right, Chaz?
No, I didn't.
No?
We had someone else build the table itself.
Right. Well, it was built though. That's really cool. That's what I'd like to do one day because I'm hopeless when it comes to some stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I have given up on this coupler. Okay, there we go. They usually pull two coaches anyway, so why not? But yeah, that's the 009 layout.
And I like the yard, by the
at
sheds
that.
over there, that you have room to put some additional equipment up there. And I think it's a nice arrangement.
Thank you. Yeah. So the original track plan again came from a different guidebook, but I had to add the extra yard just to add a little more life. And if I wanted to display other locomotives or rolling stock, that would be the place to do it.
Is that the Pico 009 track?
It is.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah. I got
unique.
It was like I forgot what it was, but it was like one of the Pico track packs. And nice. It was like most of the track you see here came from that. I did have to buy a couple extra switches, but it was a really, really great way to get started with 009 modeling.
I love the texture and weathering on your station platform there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it came like that. That was also from Mike Walton. This is like the third time I've mentioned him, but no, it's definitely a nice detail for sure.
And I love the trees on the edge on the right that kind of build up the other side there too, but that dense area because you could totally mimic that. You could mimic that shot through the trees in season 4 where it's all pulled out.
Oh yeah,
that's fantastic.
I was actually just about to ask about that, John. What brand are those trees? Because they look incredibly realistic.
I believe they're Scenecraft, but don't quote me on that.
They look really good.
Nice.
All right, but that is all from me. I just got informed that my phone battery is dying, so I got to plug it into charge. But yeah, otherwise, that's all I have to share on my end.
That lake needs an elephant. That's funny. That does.
Yeah, it does. Again, another obvious reference. Obvious reference is obvious.
Nice
hey, Tony. Sorry. Tony's NWR. I think I remember you from the forum. Anthony P2, I think.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I think that's who that was.
So,
correct me if
Charlie, you've been on the forum since I think you joined right before I did under a different name. I used to be John Thomas, but I joined in 2005, like in October-ish. And it's crazy. It's been that long.
Oh God, I know. You can even old posts from those days.
Oh my goodness.
Very nice layout and models, Charlie.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, nicely done, Charlie.
Absolutely. Thank you, Charlie.
All right, so who's next?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll show you guys this real quick. I have a Thomas music box that I can show you.
Awesome.
I was very lucky to get this at a decent price. And it's pretty well built, and it plays the classic theme.
Love Harold up there.
Yeah, it's got Harold on the top.
A little jittery.
Yeah, he's on a spring, so it looks like he's flying, which is pretty cool, I thought.
That's very cool.
Thomas goes around. So most of my stuff is I live in California now for my job and stuff. But most of my train stuff is back in Philadelphia, where actually Bachmann Industries is, where I grew up. So, and once I have the space, I'm hoping to have a setup like I had back in Philly, which is about the same size as Chaz, which I mentioned. But that's it. It's basically all I have here for now.
Awesome. Very cool.
Fun. Fun item.
It's back.
Different.
Right. Shall we
Shall
bring
we?
the spotlight back to the folks from Bachmann, Ken?
Ready when you are.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll just start by saying just a little background how I got to Bachmann. And don't mind sharing that first picture of the train car at the Bud Company in the factory. That would be good. I don't know. Is that?
Yeah, I'm going to share it. 1 second.
So anyway, my first job, I went to college for marketing. My first job actually, though, was at the Bud Company in Northeast Philadelphia, making real rail cars. What will come up on the screen now is an Amfleet cars. We made cars for Amtrak and subway cars for, there we go.
Wow.
For Baltimore and Miami and Chicago Transit Authority subway cars. So I just wanted to establish some street cred for my railroading experience.
You already have plenty of street cred.
Well, it never hurts. So anyway, this was my first job out of college, even though I went for marketing, and it was an awesome first job experience. I worked there for about 4 or 5 years, and I met a great group of people there. I still have very close friends that I see on a regular basis from the Bud Company. So the reason for me saying that is maintain your friendships that you've started through the fandom. Work on them over the years. It's well worth keeping track of everybody and maintaining that and having fun with the group of friends that you have met here in the fandom. Anyway, then the Bud Company was not doing particularly well towards the end of my work there, and there's 2 pictures of what happened at the Bud Company. It's rather sad. The building was a quarter of a mile long. It was wonderful. There was coils of steel going in one end and train cars going out the other. And it was demolished and it was made into a golf course. And the building was actually, piles of rubble from the building were used to make hills on the golf course. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it was an awesome place to work for a couple of years. So after that, I went to an advertising agency, a small advertising agency, and I did, it was a person's name, I'm not going to say the name, but a person's name and associates. Well, it was a 2-person firm. It was the persons who's owned it, and I was the associates.
Okay.
Anyway, I did a lot of work, wore a lot of different hats, and so I don't know how it happened, but I ended up cold calling to Bachmann for work, public relations work. And anyway, we went up. I wrote the proposal for Bachmann, a public relations proposal, and we went up together. And he made the proposal, and I watched him blow it. I hate to say that, but I watched him blow it. And we're sort of coming to the end of our business relationship and split in the next day or two. And I called Bachmann back up and I said, do you mind if I come up and make my own proposal? They said, come on up. So I made my proposal to Dick Maddox and basically got hired on the spot. I think I started work for him the next day.
Wow, good for you.
So if you had told me when I graduated from school that I'd be working with trains in one capacity or another for my entire working career, I probably would have said you're crazy, but it's been a great ride and I've loved every second of it. So anyway, that's how I got to Bachmann. I'm just going to do a quick, we talked about a name for this segment, and it was going to be Doug's Office Finds, because as approaching retirement, I'm starting to clean some things out. And what you see behind me here is actually Matt's office. So it's not quite my office finds in my office, but it's close enough.
Oh, your office finds found their way into my office.
That's right. So just a few quick historical things from Bachmann. I just wanted to show, I think most people know that Bachmann started in 1833. We can trace our roots back to 1833. I actually have some personal letters from Henry G. Bachmann, who is our founder. And I'm going to just hold this up here. That's his signature there.
Oh, wow.
And that letter is from 1896.
Wow.
So pretty cool stuff there. This is just a weird thing, but a little envelope. It's got some sort of slug in it. With our address and obviously a nice old stamp on there. So just, we've been around for a long time. So that's what was in the envelope, some sort of slug for something, some update. So I know I've talked about this before, but Bachmann was #1 seller of novelty sunglasses for many decades. I don't think I showed these before, but these are our Daniel Boone glasses, I think, in combination with, I think Disney was involved in this.
Wow.
So anyway, that's a treasure.
You're not going to model them for us?
Have here. What's that?
You're not going to model them for us?
That's good enough. And then we did, lots and lots of products over the years. We started with carved ivory. I know I've talked about this before, but ended up going through ivory and celluloid and Bakelite, and then into molded plastic, injection molded plastic. At one time, we did have a line of racing cars, like slot cars. So just wanted to show that.
Wow.
So anyway, that's just a few historical items from Bachmann. And Matt, we're going to do another show with some history on one of your live streams later, right?
What's that?
We're going to do some more Bachmann history on a different show for your Bachmann live stream.
Yeah, we'll probably do something. To focus on the non-Thomas side of your many years at Bachmann.
Yeah. So, and then I just wanted to share some other things with you as well. I have a couple of pins here. The point in showing this is not to show pins particularly, but I'm going to get to one, and it also has to deal with the length of Bachmann's longevity. So these are just a variety of pins I've had over the years.
Wow.
That's our newest one. This is the previous one. But the reason I wanted to show this one in particular was because, again, for the number of years we've been in business. So we were at Toy Fair. This was for when we were having our 175th anniversary. I forget exactly what year it was. But the booth next to us across the aisle was Etch-a-Sketch. And so they were very proudly putting up the sign for their 75th anniversary. Well, we had our sign for the 175th anniversary. It's like, sorry, pal.
Yeah.
We got you by a few. So that was just one of those fun things. I wanted to show some products, things that I have collected in the office over the years. This is in absolutely no particular order, and they're going to go fairly fast here. So a book for Cal on the line. I think this was a favorite of somebody's, or one that was read by somebody up here, right, Christian? Was it you?
Me? I didn't read it at Bachmann, but I had that book when I was a kid.
I think every Thomas fan and a certain age has had that exact book.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I remember having that as a kid.
Absolutely.
Fair enough.
Fun
All
fact.
right.
Yeah,
These two are wooden railway yearbooks. And I'm sure I got these at Toy Fair at some point.
Wow.
So there's another one of those. Things collect in the office. All right, let's see what else.
25 years.
So this was, don't know. I'll leave that up to you gentlemen to comment on.
Oh,
anything.
yeah. And your CDs, right?
I know this is not necessarily a favorite of everyone, but it's
That's a computer game. Wow.
computer game. Yep, sealed in the box. Never open sort of thing. So
That's crazy.
I don't know.
Christian, do you have that CD?
The CD? I do, Ken. I do.
Okay. Very cool.
It's a game series, right?
All right.
I don't know what the media is in there.
I don't think people use CD-ROMs anymore. It's all digital downloads. It's crazy.
You have to find something to play. Yeah, it's crazy how quick things have changed.
So this is all right. Well, you know what? I'm going to go over here first. Take that off the.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if that brings up back any memories for anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I had mentioned Lee Riley before, and he would just sometimes come in my office and say, "Here, you might want this, or you might need this." So this is something he bought me, and sometimes we use things, sometimes we didn't, but it was nice to have them. Another product he brought me was from one of his trips in Hong Kong. So this is an interesting package.
Oh wow.
Oh, Mighty Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be influenced for any new product direction by anything you see here. Doug's office. So if you notice in here, let's see, it's a Toys R Us for I don't know if it'll focus for. It's for $99, so presumably that's Hong Kong dollars.
In yen, yeah.
So I think he would have bought this in Hong Kong. I don't know that he would have bought it in Japan, but I don't know.
Not to interrupt, but while you were showing a few things off, I wanted to bring this up.
There you go.
Sent the poker chip. I believe you said it was from the.
Wow.
That was from the licensing show in Las Vegas one year.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. That's
That's
neat.
pretty funny.
That's cool.
So got one of those too. Absolutely.
That's so cool.
So this was another thing Lee Riley gave me. We were at the Teleflin Railway, and he got me this book. He said, here, you're going to need them. He went through the gift shop first and said, here, you need this, you need this, you need this. And I thank you. Saves me the trouble of figuring it all out.
You did.
So that was great. And then we would get resources from the licensors. I can't show you everything. I have to be a little careful. But anyway, this is just a CD from Goulet with references on it. This was one that we used a lot. And this was from Goulet and Orhit. I forget which one. I'm sure I got one.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So this has got, well, we had a lot of references like this as well.
Wow.
Christian, I think, didn't we see that in The Office?
I think so, yeah. Man.
And so we got, and the style guide that is showed, they're called a style guide.
Yep.
With all these CDs in it.
Wow.
Doug, you could probably do a nice auction to give you that nice retirement boost for that vacation.
I can't be auctioning off all these treasures.
That's why Doug's the best.
That's that.
Meanwhile, Matt's like, yeah, I can't really relate to these guys.
Matt, you said Matt can't relate?
Yeah, Matt's got some pictures.
He will relate very well, believe me.
Yes.
You'll see.
Matt, do I need to get the Mount Hood engine out again?
What's that?
Do I need to get the Mount Hood engine out for you, Matt?
No. Well, I mean, I would welcome seeing it again, but no.
That's
All right, so let's see. I sometimes get asked, what's my favorite product? And I love them all, of course, but this is just representative. This was an early sample for the turntable, and I love Tidmouth Sheds. I just think if I do say so myself, I think it's a great model. And I love the fact that it allows people to put more engines together into a scene. And it's the gathering of the friends. I love the Tidmouth Sheds. So that's just a nice reminder of that for me. That was an early sample.
It should probably be noted that was never the planned color scheme for it.
No, that's just the way it came as a first sample, an injection molding sample. So, and again, these are early, just samples. I know these are complete, but I love the red coaches. Don't ask me why. I
Me
just
too.
think they look great, and it's one of my favorites.
The little guards compartment on the back really makes them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great.
Love that. Another one is, I know it's a fairly obscure reference, sometimes story-wise. Yellow Rheneas. Christian, I'm killing you over there, am I?
I got nothing to say, but
I'll
hey.
tell you what. I kind of I watched some of the older ones. Well, now they're old. The fact that Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure is 10 years old now blows my mind. But I was looking at some of the older ones, and I appreciated those things a little bit more. And I was actually like, I think I'm going to get a Yellow Rheneas.
Well, I hope so. I just think it looks great. So Christian, don't worry. Nothing beats Terrence. Don't worry. And then another fun project that we worked on, and again, this is not a painted sample, but I love the little sleigh that we included.
I did too.
It's just fun, a little bit different. It was a different challenge. Got a lot of detail on there.
I think that slate might have actually been one of the very first models that I worked on with you.
That's why it came out so well.
Very cool.
All right, let's see what else we got here.
I still have to look into selling those hats separately. They would sell like hotcakes.
All right.
The
The
hat.
Christmas hats.
Doug, who's your favorite character?
Well, my answer is always Douglas. I mean, it has to. I don't know how I could have said anything different than that. So let's see. All right, I'm just going to push this aside. Where am I going to put this? I'm going to hide this over here, I think. We'll get that later. So this is a pile of random metal parts that we might get for samples of things. So anybody want to guess what this guy is?
All right, Christian, it's all you.
Let's see from the other side.
Tooling for something.
That's a large scale, right? Or no?
Oh, no.
Chassis for, yep.
It's a large scale chassis?
It looks like part of it for maybe a smaller engine.
Winston?
That's what I was going to suggest. Yeah.
Who said Winston?
Chaz.
Oh, wow.
Well, we lost him.
You're the winner.
You won it.
God.
You won and got too excited.
All kinds of good stuff.
That's, wait a minute, yeah.
So then we got a wheel set there. There's 3 wheels. Cloverleaf for St. Patty's Day. What do you think?
Yeah.
Nice.
So anyway, that's just some of the samples we get that we review. What else can I show you? So this, I'm going to do some non-Thomas products here. I apologize, but
sorry, Christian.
This was we did a large-scale Polar Express set, and this is the bell from that set. But we had to make the bells custom made. They're like a little bit, elongated, more acorn shape compared to what a standard bell would be, and we had them custom made to fit in the large-scale sets. Fun project.
When did you guys do that? Was that before the movie or?
Yeah, before the movie.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, because that come out in the 90s.
The large scale set?
Yeah.
Sometime in the 90s. That makes sense. I don't know exactly what year, but sounds right.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I asked him about it.
So that's that.
So cool.
Anybody for this guy? This one? Shouldn't say guy necessarily.
Oh, it's Chuggington, right?
Yes, I was gonna say, good eye, Christian. That's that thing.
That's that thing. That's V.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my former students loves Chuggington. He loves Thomas too, but he has like a Chuggington DVD, and he models an N scale, and he has, I think he has an F7, and he just said he's running Wilson. I think
that's Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I did buy that Chuggington flat car for the Thomas range because I thought that worked real well.
Excellent. Yeah, we did do the Chuggington line for with the blessing of HIT at the time.
Scale.
But this was just a fun little project.
Oh, NHO.
All right.
Sorry, Doug. I was completely unaware you guys did a Chuggington large scale line.
We did O gauge.
O gauge, forgive me.
HO and O gauge.
That's crazy.
Yep. Sometimes you end up with boxes of things, a whole bunch of samples for narrow gauge slate wagons.
Wow.
Different colors to, okay, how are we going to do this? The blue was our first choice of slate color because we thought it was appropriate. And when you get it, it's like, ooh, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So
we've had that experience a few times.
What's that?
We've had that experience a few times of opening something and being like, oh, that's not what we expected at all.
Exactly. Sometimes it looks great on the, as a color swatch, and you put it on the product, like, no, got to rethink that one. So this, I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but anyway, that's our standard Harold. And this is a prototype sample. Pretty much look the same. This one's a little dinged up, but you can tell because the skids are solid on this one, and this is hollow. So this has actually got a lot of weight to it, and we very, very rarely would paint an early non-injection molded plastic. This is like a solid model.
Wow.
Why we did it that way at the time, I have no idea. But anyway, just kind of a fun thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
This is had this on the windowsill for years. Well, since we made Emily, large scale Emily. I just like the part. I think it's a cool part.
It is.
Yeah, and I love the large scale Emily. That's definitely one of the best ones in that lineup.
It's wild.
Thank you. Yeah, I like that one too. All right. Speaking of large scale, all right. Here's a guessing game, and I know no one's going to get this, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. This, believe it or not, is the first large scale product we ever made. What is it?
Oh,
First large scale Thomas product.
Yeah, first large scale Thomas. Thank you. Thank you.
Would have to be Thomas, no?
Pardon?
Would have to be Thomas.
You were exactly right. First guess, the man gets it. So there's nothing in here though. But what this is we made Thomas in different sizes first. See what feels good in the hand. What's the right size? What's going to feel good when you pick it up and put it on the track? So we did several different mock-ups for just boxes and decided this is the size to go off of for Thomas. So this is actually the first Thomas locomotive.
Wow.
that's very interesting.
Who'd have thunk it?
I'd love to see how much that would get online.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, way to think outside the box.
Speaking of boxo faces.
Wow.
Mhm.
Is
So-
that? Do I see Boko in there?
You saw Daisy.
Daisy? Oh my goodness! Oh, it's because they look incredible.
Because
I gotta see that a little more closely, Doug.
Well, I'm actually not allowed to hold these up for screenshot purposes.
I was going to say that might not
Oh,
be allowed.
All right.
So, but I can give you a quick view. But anyway, so these are samples this size. Sometimes Goulet or HIT would send us actual samples to mold from. Sometimes not. So these are samples that we actually did get from them for Daisy and Boko.
Oh my gosh!
So, and then we had we got Bill and Ben here, and these are
I knew I saw Ben.
these are the exceptions to the rule. We don't get them very often. And this was actually, we molded this at Bachmann. This was hand molded by Jack Lynch, and he did a great job. That was on I think that's the Spiteful
That's
Break.
the Spiteful Break fan.
Yep.
How do you hand mold something like clay?
Yeah, out of clay to begin with.
Really?
He was
Wow.
very talented.
With
Wow.
great difficulty. It's hard. I remember when I tried to do it when I was a kid, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I can barely draw a stick figure.
It's a completely different skill set.
So I think
Really?
that's going to be about it. Let me just see if I've left anything literally on the table here. Nope, that's it. Well, I got one more face, and I'm gonna have to shoot this one by pretty fast. But this is actually my favorite face sample. This definitely came from Goulet. This was the earliest one we ever got, and so anyway, that was
Wow.
really, really cool stuff.
Yes.
Love that. And that's going to be it for show and tell right now. I do have the one more thing I want to show you at the end for our giveaway and a little Easter egg. And if it's all right with you, I think I'm going to turn this over to Matt. Is that okay?
It's okay by me.
Absolutely.
All right.
I had one question for you, Doug.
Oh,
before you
shoot.
do that. You mentioned to me when we were at the tour when we were talking about Britt Allcroft. I think you met Britt. I know you met her at the fandom premiere, but you had met her before that? Is that correct?
No, that was the only time I
No?
had the opportunity to
Wow.
meet her. So yeah, very fortunate to be able to do that.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to ask.
Oh, thanks. I got one more thing. Ken, can you bring up the photos of the stained glass?
Yeah.
Okay. So this was taken at Teddy. I can't find. Oh, here we go. Teddy Boston's church. So Teddy Boston was known as the in the original books the fat clergyman. And if you look at the stained glass on the lower right hand panel, there's a narrow gauge steam locomotive in that church.
Wow.
That is cool.
So that was Tyler Haney found this for me.
That's amazing.
And this is, okay, so that was really cool. I was able to visit that church on one of the trips to England. I also visited the Reverend Audrey's church and took a lot of pictures of that church. And unfortunately, it was early on in days when you still had film in the cameras, and I had no film in the camera.
Oh,
So that just about killed me. But anyway, this is Teddy Boston here. This is the Reverend with the church stained glass windows that we just showed you. So he's right here.
wow.
And that's Reverend Audrey up there. So that's in the original collection of books. And this is a brochure from that church. And I'm just going to read it from you because on his tombstone, it says that that he was the rector of that church, as well as the, I got to read this because I forget. Anyway, refers to the Cadby Light Railway that ran, I'm just going to read it here. Mr. Boston's famous Cadby Light Railway ran around the neighboring rectory garden until 2005, and the church weather vane can still be seen in the shape of a steam engine. The colorful east window, which dates from 1979, also features a steam engine as a tribute to the rector, etc. So anyway, that was just a cool place to visit. And if I'm saying that wrong, Matt, just let me know.
I actually wouldn't know.
Oh, okay. Well,
Not for that one anyway.
That was going to be my lead in for Matt, which I'm still going to do. My line has been that you're definitely going to be in good hands with Matt, and that he has probably forgotten more than anything I ever knew about railroading, except for the fact that he's probably never forgotten anything. And on top of that, he was a resident of England for 13 years. And he also was a fan of Thomas in his youth. And his interest in railroading has expanded to everything worldwide. So I think maybe Ken can share a few pictures of Matt in his formative years.
Aw.
All right.
That was at the, I don't know if anyone here is familiar with any British heritage lines, but that was at the, it's called the Watercress Line or the Midhants Railway.
I was going to say that's got to be Midhants, right? I used to look that up when I was a kid and wish I could go there.
What a welcome to Thomas Tuesday or Monday for today. Matt Stern with a real live Thomas.
I think there's another one from that same weekend as well.
Look how cute.
There you go.
Duck.
Duck in London transport colors, which at the time I was like, that's not right.
Nah, it's true.
Here's an earlier
one. Wow.
But check out those curtains, gentlemen.
That's right.
Nice.
And you can't see it, but the shirt is actually a Thomas shirt as well.
A true tanky.
Matt, were you born in England?
No, so I was born in actually in the DC area. But my mom's family is all British. So when I was 8, we all moved over there, and then I came back here when I was 21.
Nice.
Very cool. Very neat.
So yeah, so grew up with Thomas. I had about as many Erdl trains as I could fit in the box. I actually just was looking at a photo of I don't know why my mom had a photo of the box, but I asked her if she had these photos so I could share them on the stream, and she sent me this photo of the box full of herbal stuff too, which I'm not going to share because they got pretty beat up. But it was really cool going down memory lane and seeing that, and yeah, I was, as you can tell, very much into Thomas, and it was alongside an interest in prototype railroading that is, grown throughout the years, and today it's pretty amazing to look back and to think that here I am now. I'm able to work on the both the prototype trains and the Thomas trains in model form for a career. So it feels very full circle.
Yeah, we're happy to have you, man.
And you were going to share some models, I think.
I was. Oh yeah. We got some Bachmann stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you watched our live stream, our Bachmann live stream last week, you may have seen this. But I'm gonna show it again here because this is no better place than here to show it. And this is our first tooling sample for Sir Hayden.
Ah, very cool.
That probably needs no introduction, but the prototype version of Sir Handel. So you've got the smoke box door here, and it's going to be a really cool little locomotive, and will look great alongside Sir Handel. We're doing it in 2 different paint schemes from the tourist era on the Talyllyn Railway. And then we have package samples here, and I don't think we've shown these yet, but I apologize if we did. We've got package samples of the high side wagons.
Nice.
So as Doug has said many times in the past, when you see the package sample, the production models can't be that far away. So we've got the green one here, and we've got the brown one, and we've got the oxide red one as well.
Nice.
So just a few things today. We'll hopefully have more in the next stream, but just a little bit to add on to the stream today. But that wasn't the focus for today.
Very neat.
And actually, I don't know since we're here at my layout, I don't know if I can. I may have fixed it down, but if I didn't, I'll show you guys. Let's see. All right, no, I didn't fix it down. So Doug was showing some tooling samples. So when we're done with something and we we don't necessarily need all the tooling samples anymore. It's as a model railroader, it's hard for me to say goodbye to anything or throw anything out. So. So this is a tooling sample for what was it? It was Talyllyn, which I decided to make into a little. It was just the body, nothing else. Decided to make it into a little yet to be restored locomotive sitting on the edge of the tourist railroad up there.
That's cool.
Really nice.
Like that.
It was so smart of you guys to take advantage of doing them in their actual Sir Hayden and Talyllyn. I think people love that.
Yeah, it's definitely filling a gap in the market that we've been very excited to grow.
And your N scale Emily was the first. I didn't even realize the first Sterling single I think in N ever.
Absolutely, yeah, it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of N scale, I actually want to give a quick shout out to a former student. His name is Ben, and his dad, Will. And I wanted to share this with everyone on here. So he's the one who I mentioned earlier who does N scale modeling. And I don't think there's a single person, including the fandom, who is more excited for the N scale Henry than he is. Took the wooden Henry and put it on the N scale track. I think I sent Doug that just shows how excited he is for that.
That's awesome.
I'm so impressed with how quick
we
the
love
N scale
Ben.
line is growing.
So, any agenda items for Ken and Christian before we do?
Well, we do have that one N skill Gordon video that just finished, right, Ken? Would we like to show that first?
Oh,
Christian was working hard on some videos.
Finally had some downtime as I'm currently on spring break. So little shaky though because I didn't have a tripod this time. So be warned.
Nice. Now I know where it is.
Very cool.
Very nice.
Nice, Christian.
Yeah,
That layout's coming along good.
it is.
It is.
I am definitely getting season 1 vibes anytime I see shots of that hill on your setup.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, that was the goal, to mimic those classic shots. But yeah, no, I went down there recently, and I saw in the chat some of you were wondering what layout that is. It's the layout that I showcased last year on Thomas Tuesday. In fact, just about a year ago, when my friend Ben was still here. He's actually back in China at the moment, but he was very kind to let me into the basement to work on the layout this past week. So I added some scenery, and then I filmed the N. Gordon video finally. So that's actually going to go public, I think, on the YouTube channel tomorrow, Ken. So stay tuned.
Very cool. And Gordon has been very, very popular. A lot of people pre-ordered it, and they're getting it in now. So they're really excited about that. So really cool looking engine, especially for N scale. It's amazing. Everybody's starting to collect different scales now. It's not just HO. It's all different scales.
The coaches are going to look great too when those eventually come out.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, actually, Doug, I meant to ask any update as far as what we're going to use as far as reference for those express coaches.
I'll throw that to Matt.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to give too much away. Definitely want it to be a somewhat of a surprise when it gets here. But the only thing I will say is don't expect it to necessarily look like the most recent iteration.
Very cool. And we actually, for next week, I want to share this real quick because Matt's going to be on again. So we're going to get to see Matt in 2 weeks, 2 weeks in a row. And we're going to be doing a Bachmann live stream talking about their new catalog. So it's not just Thomas, it's just everything Bachmann. So we're going to go over a bunch of new stuff. It's probably going to be impossible to go through every single item, but we're going to do our best. And they're actually, I have their new catalog right here. Wonderful. It's every year it's a Bible. It's like a huge catalog, all different scales. So we're going to cover a lot of great things. So bookmark that date. It's next Tuesday, March 25th. At 6 p.m. So make sure you stop by and join us. And don't forget, we are constantly getting new Thomas items in at trainworld.com under new arrivals. Emily actually is now in stock as well. So that's pretty cool. The passenger train set for N scale and a bunch of N scale items as well. HON 30 and HO. Actually, I think these are restock. I think we got them in during Christmas. They sold out so quickly. We had to re-get them in. So Bachmann has been shipping off a ton of stuff. So make sure you head to trainworld.com for all your Thomas items. And before we kick it over, I just want to say, Doug, again, thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure working with you and knowing you over these past years. It's really, truly an honor. And if you're a part of the NMRA or if you're not a part, please send them an email and let's get Doug Blaine nominated to be a part of the NMRA Hall of Fame, because he absolutely should be. And Bachmann has truly an immense pool of talent from all their staff, but Doug should truly be a part of the Hall of Fame for all of his work, not only for just regular trains, but Thomas specifically. He's done so much for the Thomas fandom. So I hope you do get in. And I'm not sure who we have to speak to at the NMRA, but I think hopefully we could get that done. And I see some people already sending an email. So hopefully they say what's going on when they tune into their inbox tomorrow and they get all the updates or nominations for you to be part of the NMRA Hall of Fame. But hopefully we get you in there, Doug.
Well, thank you very much, Ken. Thanks for the kind words and support. But before I go, I do have one more thing. And so people were asking about the figures. Those are scheduled for shipping in about another month. So I'd say maybe about 2.5 months. Does that sound about right, Matt?
Yeah, I think so. Sometime in May or June.
Yeah. So, but there's one special figure set that I wanted to point out to everyone, and that is the railway personnel. And so here's the Easter egg. So it's sort of a likeness, but if you look at that center figure, maybe check out those glasses on there, maybe a little gray hair on the side, I don't know. But that's sort of me. So
that's great.
I'm gonna end it, and it was with Mattel's blessing.
Bachmann Doug.
Wow.
So maybe I was probably eating a little bit better than, but I don't know if I can get this in focus.
That's
not
fantastic.
at all, is it?
Oh, I love it.
Well, anyway,
that's so
it's
cool.
hard to...
We'll all buy it, so we'll see it close up.
As people are calling you in the chat, they're calling you the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
No, really, not just to piggyback on what Ken said earlier. Like when we talk, like everybody, like you've been such a part of the streams, but I don't think you can really fathom how much Doug has meant to the Bachmann Thomas line, because of how much he cares, and that's really a rare thing. So it's we're gonna miss you, Doug.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much. And it really has been an honor to know everybody here, to work with everybody. I appreciate the friendships. For Christian, Ken, Charlie, John, Matt, everybody on the live streams. When I see people at shows or talk to people, everyone is just nice and friendly. And as I said in the beginning, keep those friendships going in the fandom, because it really is a special thing.
I love this comment. Doug is one of the best employees on the island of Sorrow.
I love that.
That's great.
So Ken, we do have 5 figures to give away.
Wow.
Separate.
Okay. Very cool.
There's going to come with this little note. I know it's a little goofy, but so I have those. We got some extra separate figure samples in. So if you want a Doug figure,
please accept.
I think we need a question. Can I pose the question, Christian?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So I talked a little bit about my history with Bachmann, and when I started being associated with Bachmann and my first contact with him. What year do you think it was that I first started working with Bachmann, not as a full-time employee, but working with Bachmann as an outside public relations agency? Get those guesses going, and it doesn't have to be the exact year, but we can pick the 5 closest if nobody gets it. So anyway, we got 5 samples for that.
Wow.
Hopefully that'll be fun, and we can, once you pick them, I'll mail them out.
And that's going to be, a really cherishable item. People are going to go crazy for that. It's signed by Doug.
Oh,
That's
Yeah, I
pretty
wish I could
impressive.
be in the chat.
I see a lot of years coming in.
Yeah.
Did I say the year in the
you,
chat?
you did.
I
You
did.
did
Oh,
say the
then it's
year,
all
yes.
over. I forgot.
Christian is making a bunch of fake accounts right now to chime in so he can win a raffle.
So that'll be it when
Very cool.
you get it in the mail.
Oh,
That's so cool.
Now on top of that, that's great raffle, and I also want to raffle something off today as well. But I want you guys, everybody out there, to put in the chat, thank you, Doug, because it really has been a honor. So put in hashtag thank you, Doug, the state you're from, and do a screenshot and share it. If you share it, take a screenshot. Thank you, Doug. And we'll pick out a raffle winner, and we'll raffle off an original packaging, Doug.
Wow.
That's a classic right there.
That's right, Birdie the Bus, and a Bachmann hat as well with a Bachmann catalog. So put in the chat, thank you, Doug, and do a screenshot, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, and show our appreciation and your appreciation, everyone's appreciation to Doug and his support throughout the years to the Thomas fandom and Bachmann Trains, and we truly appreciate his friendship. So
thank you again, everybody. It really has been a wonderful, wonderful ride and great years, and I appreciate everyone that I've met through Bachmann and through the fandom. And I just can't say enough about what a wonderful experience it's been. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I want to add on to that with what Ken and John were earlier. I definitely appreciate the friendship that we have as well, Doug. Not just on the subject of Thomas and trains, but also just on a personal level. I really want to shout out one specific memory. When I mentioned before that I was going through a hard time, and it really meant a lot when you called me up a few days later to make sure everything was okay. So this isn't, business person. This is a great human being in general. So I think that really says a lot about you as a person as well as a friend.
Thank you, Charlie.
I'm not going to lie. I'm very sad about this.
Wait, what was that?
No, I'm sorry. I said I'm not going to lie. This is making me. I didn't expect to be this sad. I was very sad when Doug contacted me about a month ago because he was going to be at the train show in California, and I wouldn't have even known about it. But he mentioned it to me there, and it just really hit me very hard because it's it's when was the first Train World stream, if you remember, Christian or Ken?
It was May 2021.
Wow.
Well, like, see, it's been a long time. It's been 4 years, and like getting to know Doug in person, it's just it's a cool thing. Appreciate you guys.
It's been a great ride. And Ken, it wouldn't have happened without you, obviously, and Christian, and thanks for putting all this on and bringing everyone together.
Absolutely.
I'll share a fun story with Doug. I don't even know if Doug remembers this, but we were at New York Toy Fair, and Doug was, I guess, had the sample of the N-scale Thomas line, the new announcement, and my father was like, N-scale, it's for kids. I don't know if people are gonna like it or return it, and it's not big enough. But boy, was he wrong, and Doug was right. Doug knew the fandom exactly, and knew that it really is now a collection, and it's really for a different clientele for the Thomas fandom, and Doug really knows Thomas product inside and out, and I think that it goes to his credit to how far Thomas has come along with the Bachmann line and all the products and the SKUs and the amount of just the numbers that we go through. My father still can't understand and believe the amount of Thomas and how it keeps on growing. And it's really because of Bachmann and the line, and it's truly amazing.
And you said it's because of Bachmann, and it is. There's a lot more people involved than just me. And I'm just going to say, for Rich Janasek, Matt Stern, Tyler Haney, Larry Harrington, Jeff Shannon, Helen Ashbrook. Thanks to everybody. It really takes the team at Bachmann. And, thank you as well for suggestions from Christian and Charlie and John, and Ken get some suggestions in there too, of course. And anyway, for all the help that everyone has given over the years, thanks again. And
I do want to add also that, Doug, you've created such a, you've set the bar so high for the Thomas and Friends line. It's an honor to be able to continue it and continue on your legacy. And we're certainly going to try our best to maintain the level that you've set. Thank you. And I know with your knowledge and ability, as I said before, the line is in great hands. So I look forward to seeing what Matt has to offer in the coming years.
You proved if you build it, they will come and buy it. So
that's right.
He truly made the field of dreams with the Bachmann on scale.
That's true.
Absolutely.
But it's because of that I hope Thomas, because Thomas, for some reason, you see all these other brands that I feel are not less deserving, but don't have as rich of a history as Thomas, and really the potential to be such a collector's item. They kind of get that treatment, and Thomas usually doesn't. And I think that is changing now, and I think that's really partially due to Bachmann and Doug and everybody.
They understand the fandom, and it's,
there's a market for it.
They're really doing a tremendous job.
As I always say, we will keep them coming. And thanks again to everybody in the fandom, everybody watching. It's just, again, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing what the future brings.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Doug.
All right. And with that said, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning into this very special live stream. Charlie, John, thank you for coming on to showcase some special memorabilia as well as your insights altogether. Doug, Matt, thank you so much for both the predecessor and successor of coming on from Bachmann Trains. We are very honored at Train World to be seeing these new samples of upcoming products and just again share our love for Thomas altogether. And Ken, without you, these streams would have never even been possible to begin with. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm so glad I walked in full 2020 and just bumped into you, and then the rest is history. So just honored to be here as always. And thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Happy Thomas Monday. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And keep on modeling. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks,
everyone. Thanks, Doug.
Bye-bye.